These are the most recent regulations. Everybody's got a copy now.
Okay, let's begin the meeting, and we are being recorded. Okay, did everybody get a chance to look at the draft minutes from last minute? I had some changes. It was under the request for extension comment,
Oh, yes.
and you say, an order of conditions was issued in 2004 with multiple extensions, including the 4-year Permit Extension Act.
Yes.
Maybe you should say with multiple extensions, including 4 years allowed by the Permit Extension Act.
Okay.
And then below that says Elliott identified distances to the wetlands.
Yes.
Maybe you should just say Elliott identified probable worst-case scenario to changes, to possible changes in the BVW line.
Worst case scenario. Say it one more time.
Case scenario for change, for possible changes to the BVW line. And then there's something here about you, Tim. Maybe you can walk quick. This one said the owner is showing intent to proceed and would have to reflag or redelineate. Is that kind of what you said or not?
You're asking me to remember.
I'm not sure what that means.
Okay.
The intent to proceed, yeah, the reflag or redelineate, I don't recall.
Okay. I think you were saying you'd like them to reflag or
Yeah.
redelineate.
Oh, I
So I
think,
can.
yeah,
Or
thought
maybe
we all-
Okay,
all
maybe start
of us
with
did,
that,
I
yeah.
think, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then maybe say it was suggested, or that the applicant would have to reflag.
Which we asked them to do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Anything else? Anybody?
No.
Okay. I move that we accept the amended draft minutes for September 6th.
Second.
All in favor?
Right.
Aye. Okay. What's the 6:10 or 7:10?
7:10 exactly.
Okay, let's begin. This is a public meeting. It's a request for determination filed by Beth Ann Norton to install a 2-stall horse barn with attached room and fencing at 8 Maple Street. It's located in the buffer zone of bordering vegetated wetlands. It's a BVW, and it's a lot created before
Before the
May
bylaw.
6, 2002, so it doesn't, bylaw only
Yeah.
is in effect to make popular extent.
Yes.
And we did pay the IDA fee and the legal notice.
Yes. And the thing was, with that is, I mean, it shows on this plan an
Doesn't sign the
isolated
bottom,
wetland.
that The bylaw doesn't have effect, essentially, we agreed to that.
And then without the bylaw taking effect, I mean, this really is, I don't consider this an isolated wetland within a drainage. We get more activity over here for wet, but either way, it doesn't really matter, because I figured it's really, if it's not an isolated wetland, we still don't have to meet the 50%, I mean, the 50 feet, but that's what it
Okay.
is.
So the proposed 24 by 24 foot barn and the fencing is 50 feet away from the wetlands. We're gonna store manure on this site.
I'm sorry?
We're gonna store manure.
Well, we're gonna have either Tony Beatty come and take it away every week, or we can have Matranos come and take it.
As long as it's 100 feet away from the wetlands, that's fine.
It's gotta be away from the horse too, so we'll
Of
make
course.
sure it's far away, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So the lot was created in 1988, so can we get some leniency on what the area is that we have to be away from the wetlands, by any chance?
yes, no, if you're 50 feet away, we're fine, pretty much.
Okay, so it has to stay at 50, okay.
What, do you want closer, or how
For the
much?
fence, just for the fence, not for the barn, but for the fence. So that the paddock can be a little bit bigger and we can rest one side and the other, we can cut it in half, and then one side can rest, and then we can move them to the other side.
So what would you be proposing then? What would maybe be open to? Would you be open to 30 feet maybe, or?
Is there a natural break in there at all?
No, I mean, the whole lot kind of comes towards the road, slightly the wetlands up on the right, like as you're facing the lot on the right side, kind of up here. And there's a slight slope coming all the way down
To the
towards,
road?
to the road, Maple Street,
Away from the wetlands.
away from the wetlands.
Oh,
Yeah, so it does, this doesn't, it's not a topo here, but like I said, this whole area here is slightly up and then it comes down this way, that way. And that's why this isolated wetland, which I don't consider isolated
Would
wetland,
you
flows
even
down.
go for 25
Flows
or
which way?
30?
It
Well,
actually,
it does fall.
30?
this way.
that's what we used to use.
Which
when
is
we
I know we used to use 30 a lot of times before we had the bylaw. I don't,
So you're not considering it isolated? you said?
No. But it's still, the isolated wetland, would you be able to go right up to the edge, but it's still some, like I said, there's some
Do you see
stuff going
flow?
on.
Is there a?
Not right now, of course, but there's enough
Yeah.
evidence that,
That there's
yeah,
a
they
fairly
should-
consistent flow?
The only other thing would be, right now it's vegetated. Are you leaving it vegetated? Well, meadowy?
Oh, yeah, yeah. We're not gonna touch the trees or,
No, I'm not worried about that, but in the area that you're asking us to change the fencing,
right.
you're not planning, are you
We're
planning?
not
to-
planting anything, it's just gonna stay the way that it is.
Okay, it's staying the way it is, it's not, you're not making it stone dust.
No,
Some paddocks are stone dust.
no, no, no,
We
no,
have big
no.
fights about that.
No, because we don't wanna interrupt the drainage either. Right.
so if it's down slope of the wetlands, I don't think you need that any silt fence either, do they?
no, actually probably not.
Well, they need the limited work, or to,
Yeah, more
the
maybe
barn,
around this
barn.
area here where the barn is being constructed. Maybe,
Okay. And just a regular silt fence would probably do it too?
yes, yes. Maybe just like a length of silt fence, like just.
that's also down slope?
Yes.
Proposed here? Generally
Well,
speaking?
much closer to the house.
Much closer,
Yeah.
but
Much
much up
closer
here.
to the house.
All right,
Yeah.
yeah, that's true, okay.
So I say
Because where you're
probably
pointing would be
this-
paddock space.
Would you kind of
Would be
think
like over here.
like a
Right.
50
Yeah,
feet of
yeah.
silt fence, like right around here, would, depending on where the fence is going to be, what your final decision is on the fence.
That was 30 feet away.
Okay.
But
And-
you have to check it before they.
Oh, yes.
And it's gotta be flagged, you'll have to flag where the fence goes.
Okay,
We're saying 30 feet.
okay.
So it's 30 feet from the, is it got a sign,
Yeah, you can tell,
But-
this blue flags.
okay, it's been delineated, so
Yes.
it's,
Yeah, it's already been flagged when we built the house.
Yes,
Everything's
and I went up.
still up.
And the barn will be 50 feet away. as you're
Yes,
showing
we
on
can make the
thing.
barn 50 feet away, so you
And,
can have more
and,
paddock
and then
space
just
than
a
this
silt fence around, you know what a silt fence is?
I'm sorry?
A silt fence.
What is
a
that?
fence to stop the silt from going under it.
Oh, you want a kale
The
line?
orange.
Right, well, you know, it's black fabric that gets tucked into the ground.
Yeah.
And it has stakes every 8 feet. And you buy 100 feet of it for $30 at Home Depot. So
Yeah.
if you buy one 100-foot
You,
length.
you want that where?
Around, well, Paul can show you but where the barn's gonna be, but around the barn, between the barn and the wetlands.
Okay.
It's also the limit of work.
So that would be at the
During
50-foot line,
construction.
right? The 50-foot
Yeah,
line was where the
yes.
silt fence
We
would
like-
go.
we could, I don't know, in construction, I thought it was called a kale line, to make sure that nothing gets,
Gets beyond it.
right,
Right.
right. Okay.
Is there a ridge at the 30-foot or near it? Because it looks like the wetland slopes down the other way, and then
It
the
just-
yard slopes down towards the camera in this photo.
Yeah, yeah, they're
So it
standing on
looks
the
like there
ground.
might be a ridge there between,
No, there really isn't, it's very gently, so I have,
Very
when I had the
gently,
house built, I actually have.
There must be some type of-
It's upstairs too.
Yeah, how would it be a wetland
right,
otherwise?
there must
The
be
wetland
some.
would be on the high side.
yeah, yeah.
Right,
Well, and the thing, it's funny, because there's a lot of vegetation around where the wetland is.
See, this is how it slopes, and
Yeah.
it's fairly flat up here. And then it just slopes very, very, very gently, and it gets a little bit more steeper towards here. So where we were gonna put the barn would be in around here. And you can see the wetlands are here. And you
So
can
that
put the
it's
barn.
almost 100 feet away from the wetlands then.
Well,
If the house
it's
was
about,
actually
it's about
100 feet.
50, it's, the
Yeah.
one corner's gonna be 50.
You see, that's 100 right there.
Right,
Mhm.
so we're gonna put it in around here, but
So
it's
that,
still,
that's showing it at the 100-foot.
so it's
So
at,
you're more than 50, that was versus the plan showing it at.
yeah, I
50.
mean, it's hard to, nothing's really to scale there, so.
Yeah.
But the question is, that we've had is why, with that slope, why is the water staying in the wetland?
Yeah.
Water always goes
Yeah.
downhill.
Yeah, can you see
It,
where
it
it
does,
kind of,
it does in the spring, it becomes
It
a little bit
dribbles
of a
down.
wet meadow.
But there must be a bit,
Container.
it's a bit of a basin?
Yeah, does it show, there's a little bit of a
Right.
base, there's either like moss and,
So
um.
And it's
it-
sloping into the wetland from the
It's
front.
kinda
It is, it's probably downhill of
There's a
another
little-
area, up on the area, and then this is a depression where it's caught.
there is a little
Yeah.
depression
Before it
right
flows
about
down.
here. And then
So-
in March and April, it gets a little mucky here, and then by May and June, it's completely dry.
And for the sake of the pasture, if nothing else, you probably won't be putting the horse in the wettest area. in
That's right. I
March.
mean, for that time, we will probably get some, what kind of fencing do you call that?
Just electric tape.
No, but I mean,
Portable.
you know, that they build round pens out of, to make sure that maybe he just stays in this house. That's why we were hoping to get fencing that's a little bit closer to the wetland, so that we can have more pasture. We can have him here in the spring, and then let this rest, and then move him over here in the summer. So we don't end up with just a big mud patch after a couple of years.
Does this get wet in the summer,
Just
when
right-
it's normally dry,
In-
in a
in-
wet spell, will this get pretty mucky?
No. It's only early spring, so it's like March and April, it's kinda damp in here.
Did they look at the soils?
And
when
then
they were-
after that, it dries
Yeah,
up.
the thing is that there were soils from when they did the original house, but they actually kept everything, so they kept everything out of the 100-foot.
Yeah, when we built the house,
Yes.
well,
No,
way far
but-
away.
But Tim's question makes sense, but if it didn't come up as wetland soils,
Yes.
it must be winter wet or temporary, and this other area doesn't seem to be wet.
No, it's not.
Where the house is, it's not wet at
No,
all.
not at
Well,
all.
but the
Oh, and this,
paddocky area, no, the wetland's wet. We
Yes.
understand the
This
wetland's
area,
wet.
this like
Okay.
this general
It's
area
the
here.
drainy, the spring wet area.
So the spring wet area, if you want me to show you on this, there's like a very small, sort of, it's right about here. It's just like a little bit of an indent,
A little patch.
like that, right like that. And that's where it seems like the water collects in March and April, and then it dries up.
because I walked like back and forth, and nothing seemed out of the ordinary.
No.
Yeah, because I mean, if it was anything, it had to be,
Did I interpret
It's
your
it's
question?
fairly, it's kind of flat. It slopes very, very, very gently. It almost seems flat.
Oh, yes, many things seem flat, but the water can tell.
yeah.
Right, oh, right, right. Water flow
Exactly.
finds its lowest point. We all know that, yeah.
Exactly.
And you're concerned for different reasons, but about the same thing as we are, is you don't want a mud puddle
That's right.
beaten up. And we don't want the wetlands we don't want the silt moving around or the
Right.
stirred up, so
Right.
I think that we're on the same page.
Almost like this, where the wetlands are though, it's kind of like at the top, you know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
it does, and like I said, there is like a little bit of a depression that runs underneath this whole area here. And then all of a sudden, someone did some work on a culvert years ago.
Is there any other questions or comments?
I see.
Was it at all wetland, meadowy,
That
any
was-
wetland plants in there?
No, not,
Just regular old field stuff?
yeah. And like I said, in the woods, it was definitely different.
Yeah, but and you're not changing the wood boundary?
No.
I was mentioning the ridge because if there's any type of slope between the wetland on one side and the rest of the slope coming down the front, then maybe the fence can be judged that way so that there's no runoff heading from the
Okay.
confined area heading into the wetland.
So if there's a bit of a ridge that,
If there's a bit of
rather than
ridge,
sticking
right.
to the exact 30, it could be
Right.
23.
Yeah.
It
Could
could be
be-
43,
Right.
if it moved around.
Maybe Paula could help.
Is that okay? Is that okay? Is that okay? If there's a little bit of a ridge? Yeah.
I'm not understanding the question. Could I trouble you to see that again?
Doesn't show up on that.
Yeah, it doesn't, I could tell from afar, it doesn't
The
really.
big map is still upstairs in the, if you
Right, so
really
it's
needed to look at it later.
So, but I guess I still didn't understand your question.
Maybe, I'm just saying if the wetland need, if there's no ridge at all, then the wetland would be unconfined. It would spread out. So there's gotta be some way for it to contain it from going.
The basin's gotta have an edge.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
There's gotta be.
but that's way up there, right?
But it's gotta be on this side, there's gotta be.
Yeah, there's always gotta be a ridge going.
Yes,
Some.
yeah, and you can tell, I mean, I guess if you, I should
It's very
take a-
subtle, but it's there.
It is, it is. Oh, it has to
Yeah,
have, it
it's-
has to, and it's all this shrubby. Can
Oh, when
see
you
the
say
picture?
ridge, you mean like an edge to the wetland,
Yes.
not an upland ridge to this.
But see this in
Yeah,
Like
here?
right now, the
a
topographic.
ridge, as if you were
And you-
delineating a
you know where it
watershed
is?
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
right
around the
here.
wetland.
That's where it is.
Could
It's
also
right,
be
it's
so- it
like,
could also
right,
be
there's
soils,
all
too.
this,
So is there a rough idea on how far that is from the wetland?
that's like, almost like, most of it's pretty close to the edge. That's like the close to the edge
So
of the
we,
wetlands.
so we want the,
I see.
Yeah, I mean,
25, 30 feet.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think
And it
you
would
have
not
to.
be on the basin edge, it'll be out there in the middle.
Exactly.
Yeah, like so.
Does 30 feet work to your advantage?
Anything's better than 50, right? Because we would like to be able, like I said, divide the paddock in half so we can rest one half and the other. And so the more that we have towards the actual wetlands is a huge benefit to give him more space.
Okay, anything else? Okay. I move that we issue a negative determination. Number 3, the work described in the request is within the buffer zone as defined in the regulations, but will not alter an area subject to protection under the Act. Therefore, said work does not require the following of a notice of intent, subject to the following conditions. That was just the 100-foot silt fence between the proposed barn and the wetlands. This is also number 6, it's allowed by the local bylaw. The second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so that means you don't have to file a notice of intent, which saves you $1,500 to $2,000, and you go ahead with your project.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Really appreciate it.
Okay.
But they'd still coordinate with you.
Yes.
Now,
yes.
will we get something in the mail from you?
You will.
With
You'll-
all
There is
specifications?
10-day
Exactly.
appeal
Okay.
period,
Yes,
but there's
so I'll
nobody
definitely
here.
be in touch.
Okay.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
thanks. So the gentleman that built the house, he'll be building the barn most likely, so you probably will remember him when you see him.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
You know who, the house across the street sold their property.
I thought you mentioned that little wet area, he had this pretty
Across the
much
street from this
sold.
property?
I know, I'm like,
He was the property
because I
was
went
helping
back
himself,
and,
but
I
you
went across the whole
sabotaging
meadow.
Yes,
himself.
I know.
I went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and you know, it's like, the good news is, no ticks.
They're starting to come out though.
I
Yeah, we've had a few.
have had people say they're out again.
The little tiny ones.
Yes.
I don't think
Mosquitoes, too.
they carry Lyme, but I'm not sure.
They all carry everything,
They
yes.
carry something, don't they?
I don't think the little ones do.
Yeah,
I think
you
it's
do
But
that.
those actually
second
worse.
instar.
I think they're worse, there's, you look out there, they show ticks. They got a little
No,
bush.
I'm not talking about the variety of tick.
Oh,
the
use
deer
it,
tick.
use it for
I'm
stress.
talking about
I
when
use it
they're
for my
extremely
shopping.
Oh, good.
small
Oh, I'm sure
compared
I'll
to the
use it.
adult
Yeah.
stage.
They can have it, but it's less likely, the odds are more in your favor.
Right, because they haven't really been out and exposed, they haven't picked it up from anything.
What they might,
Are there any bills payable?
I had one
Yes.
right here,
Look at those.
just the
Ah,
other day.
between your
Right
fingers.
between my fingers.
Wow.
Okay, so this is just office supplies, right?
Yes, yeah, office supplies, and this is the charge for the, all the, it belonged to one of our former commissioners.
Okay, and for the new set of regulations we got.
Yes.
And that's a total of $156.13. I move that we approve the paying of the bills payable.
Second?
All in favor?
I-
And so everybody has a copy of the new regulations, so,
that's great.
they weigh about 200 pounds, all the paperwork.
So do we have to memorize it?
I was just wondering,
Well, put a
here's the
memorize it,
reference,
just
it's
We've already
Big,
got
big
that.
folder already.
The funny thing is, it's, once you start going through them enough, you just like, you know, 1053, 1058, 10, you know. Okay.
Can I trouble you to do something?
Oh,
Well,
what's
actually,
that?
I guess
What
I
would
can,
you like?
nah, you know what, I could do it too.
What's that?
So say, just send me the link to the PDF with this, but I can do that too.
Oh, well, it's funny, it's interesting online, when you go online, that's why Bob asked for these hard copies, because they're all over the place, it's like, you're missing like half a page, has no writing on it,
Ah,
it's odd.
Yeah, but for some reason when they.
I don't know why either, I have no idea, I've never seen anything like that happen before, where,
Oh, PDFs, sometimes if they're taken from text, there'll be extra space. I've had,
lots of extra spaces, tons of extra
Yeah.
spaces, so you might have a page
They
this
take
much.
a page and they print out like this, and then you get the little bit that should go there is on the next page. And so you go to print it out, it's still just as thick, it's double what you got there.
but if you wanna read it on,
So
if
you
you
read
read,
it
no, because
again.
sometimes I'll get your
Exactly,
emails and I'll
that's-
want, and I
Yes.
could check it, stuff out.
Jeff always
Okay,
turned away the
so
papers.
Here's a request for
I use
certificate of compliance for.
Yes, and this is
Sometimes
for,
paper's
Emerson
nice and
Village.
sometimes.
yes. So this is the roadway, which down at Emerson Village, we had to go completely through it. They're going to try to accept this at town meeting, the road. It's one of the warrant articles. Just want to make sure, there's one thing I don't want to forget, which is the next item. October 24th,
Oh, 2 weeks.
yes.
3 weeks. 3.
There's quite a set of as-built plans. What we did was we had to go down, the town engineer, Ken Kalinowski, myself, and Sue Snyder from the planning board. We went down and walked it, and we looked at all the bounds, we looked at all the, any kind of flagging, we looked at, like, every part of the project. There was a fence that's in question, but it had nothing to do with wetlands. But this is just for the actual road from Emerson Village that goes in Emerson, Winslow, and there's another one. There's 3 roads. And right up until now, that was a 40B. So up until now, it's been maintained by the people that actually, constructed or built this
Oh,
project.
Now I understand.
And so now they're trying to get acceptance of the road, and I had said, well, I need a set of as-built plans, I need a letter from the engineer, we need to walk the site, so we did that last week. So,
Okay,
So this will become a town road now.
it will, if town meeting approves it,
Got it.
so.
I move that we issue a certificate of compliance with 259-707.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
That's actually our well site, one of the Nashua Road well. The well, one of our municipal wells is in the back of the property. It was a deal that the town had worked out, so, and there's only one well back there. But the town actually bought land in Hollis to help protect it to, your zone 2.
There's a very nice bog, teeny little cute bog right at the entrance next to the south side. A little kettle.
A cute bug.
I like dogs.
Okay, so the next, the town warrant article?
Yes, you have that number. This is do you want to discuss it? It's the town meeting warrant article about the land between the rivers, or the land behind the senior center, that the Division of Fisheries and Wildlife will actually be purchasing. There'll also be an APR that'll be given, an agricultural preservation restriction given. That's a gift, which is a totally different thing, as part of mitigation for the taking of agricultural land for the school. But the Council on Aging Board and the Friends of the Seniors all would like to see this happen. They had a vote, and they actually would like to, and the Board of Selectmen voted to support this article. And so they would like the Conservation Commission to hopefully do the same. So they'd like the commission, so they could make the statement at town meeting on October 24th. So this is land, the Nashua and Nissitissit rivers, it's all in the floodplain. 99% of it's in the floodplain. You've got of course, the Nissitissit, the Nashua, all kinds of rare species habitat. So, you want to add
Is
anything?
there a setback for the APR from the edge of the river?
I don't know that they ever did one, but I know part of the river will now be owned by Fish and Wildlife, so they won't allow anybody to,
I was just thinking that
Okay.
sometimes farmers get mighty close to,
Yes. Well,
they want that extra 5 feet.
I know, and I don't know that they did that before, but I know there's a little bit of a buffer in some places and not in others. I know it'll be still under the control of the Board of Selectmen, the APR, but the Fish and Wildlife would own the land that already abuts land that they own, so.
But the other side of the land between the rivers is, that trail near the covered bridge that you
Yes,
park and walk down.
exactly, exactly.
And that's already protected.
There's a piece of that gives you access into the piece that Fish and Wildlife would also, because it goes right to the Nissitissit.
Yeah.
It's right at the confluence of the two rivers, so.
And
Okay, so
So
this,
then, did you understand what Paul had sent out to us?
yes. I was
Okay.
just trying to figure out exactly.
There's two
where-
ways you can come in from the
Yeah.
senior center, it's a, almost 70, I think it's 65 acres that would be protected, and the rest of it, the senior center would have a parcel cut off, that would be, so many acres, so that if they had future expansion. But, the idea is, to keep everything out of the floodplain and to protect it in perpetuity and.
I think it's terrific.
Yeah, basically, as you said, the Board of Selectmen will continue to own the land between the rivers, and they can continue to lease it, but the Massachusetts Department of Agricultural Resources would hold the APR. The town would not receive funding for the APR because of 30 acres in mitigation for the taking of agricultural land for the Nissitissit Middle School. There's additional 35 acres which the Mass DFW would purchase from the town.
Yes, they would actually purchase, and it does abut, some of it abuts land that they
And
already
it was
own.
up to $2,000 per acre.
Yes, or the appraised value,
Yes,
so.
this, it might well, for town meeting, point out that it will be at fair market value.
Yes, yes,
It'll just shut some people up.
okay.
But this is what I'm trying to, without a map, it's both sides of the Nissitissit River on one side of the Nashua.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I'm almost positive, oh,
Can we,
Oh, we
pull
had
up
the
a map?
we can, actually, it's funny, I had the maps out. And did I bring them?
You want this one? Or is that-
Let's see.
Not a big deal.
So you have,
This is where it pinches in, right here.
exactly, behind the senior center, so, okay.
You see it's right there, that brown area.
Yeah.
So you do come in, and the Nashua is on your
There's the
right.
Nissitissit there, and there's
Yes.
the Nashua. You see it's on both sides.
That's right. Okay, good.
Vegetationally, it's dreadful. Oh, it's so weedy.
There is some
It's this area, right?
upland
It's-
there.
Yes,
Yeah,
because it is a land between the rivers.
literally.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, it's this area right
And
here.
where the senior center is on Nashua Road,
Which
Mhm,
is
that's right.
somewhere, it's actually this
That's on the
street
right
right there,
side.
yeah.
exactly. But even
There's
coming in the senior
111.
center to the right,
Mhm.
huge
There is
wetland.
on
And
this side
some of that
Nissitissit,
floodplain area, so crossing
that
it,
side
some of
there,
that is inaccessible.
Down here, it's next to the
I mean, you'd
Nashua.
Right.
have to have like
It's
a,
hard to,
That's why I
it's
was-
hard to
huge
cross it, that's why I brought it up.
yes,
You can't, it's not easy to
State
get
owns
from one
that
side to
part,
the
that's
other.
right
no,
there.
no.
I've been back there.
But
The brown is.
there,
nice.
like, as you're coming from Nandy Willet's property, right next to that, to the left where the Fish and Wildlife
You know
own,
what he's talking
where
about,
Dragonfly
Ellen?
Farms is now leasing you.
I have a rough
Yeah, there's a
idea.
nice
Yeah.
trail, and it goes through some
Is this
hummocks,
parcel right here,
some,
this
Yes.
111 here?
Is
Yeah.
that, are those
Here's where
hummocks part of the
Hadley
property?
Road goes in,
Yeah.
there's the senior
I think
center
so, anything
here.
that's
Right.
forested would go to
And
Fish and
there's a
Wildlife, and
certificate.
anything
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
agriculture
National
would
River
stay
there.
as part of the
Yeah.
APR.
Yeah.
The state owns right
Right,
now,
so this is
owns
like
this
where-
already.
The yellow part?
Dragonfly
It's in
Yes.
this,
Okay.
see the
That's-
senior center?
What we're
Yeah.
talking about is the
Would-
brown.
Okay, yeah, I'm pretty.
And this is
familiar.
like a cleared area
Makes sense.
here.
Yeah, this, yeah, right behind the
Thank
senior
you.
center is the agricultural land.
Okay.
Behind the senior center in 2010, if you went behind the senior center, it dips down, it goes down, I don't know how many feet, but it is all the agricultural fields. In 2010, we had the flood, you could probably jump off and dive in. It was, the water was that high behind there. There's some areas in town that, because you've got the Nissitissit, the Nashua, you're in a floodplain area, the water has to go somewhere, right? It was incredible how much water was there. The whole area was flooded. But that's the type of storms you're going to, when you have that kind of a storm, you've
Yeah.
got two rivers, the confluence of
Maybe
two.
this
Of
weekend.
course, yeah.
Exactly.
That's true. It's
So we'll-
interesting, Leander.
I know, it is interesting, but it is all, 99% of it's mostly.
Peninsula.
Yeah.
You know, creates a little peninsula.
Yes, yeah. It's pretty. I mean, the Nissitissit River there is so pretty. And the Nashua, there's a lot of protected land. I had the map. I think when I came down upstairs and came down, I forgot about it. It's such a beautiful area over there. It really is.
Okay. So the selectmen wanted us to vote in support of this Article 12, which permanently protects the land between the rivers. So I so move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And this is the year for the healed orchard mowing, for anyone that hasn't been involved previously. Every 2 years roughly, there's a meadow of about 18 to 20 acres that was created about 2008, where the apple trees were removed, and it's a meadow, there's a lot of, you get the bobolinks, you get a lot of nesting birds. This time of year when it's warmer, you see a lot of dragonflies and damselflies and, butterflies, to get to that point. So now it's to the point, so it will be mowed this year, because otherwise you get a lot of woody stuff, you get a lot of autumn olive already. But, so it will be mowed probably in the fairly, soon, pretty soon, so.
Is that off the parking lot where the water thing is?
No, not
Okay.
that one. This is at, the west gate, the lower gate.
Okay.
Down by
If
the
you-
pond.
Exactly. You go in, there's that whole meadow there.
Okay, yeah.
So if you went down to Heel Pond,
Okay.
so that will be
Little
mowed.
pond, tiny pond.
There's a little wetland there.
Dragonfly pond.
Yeah. So, and, I guess the next thing, the review of the Dunkin' Donuts application.
No, this is the planning board application. They have not
Yes.
submitted to us yet. I spent a lot of time looking at it.
Oh.
And it's, we can't, how can we comment without having it flagged and?
Exactly. Something that I said to Bob is like a lot of this information, but there's no way to say, there's a lot of mitigation and restoration, but still some other issues, of course, that Bob brought up that need to be addressed before. I think we asked for the application, they said they were bringing it in, I haven't seen it yet.
Where is it
So,
again? No?
Dunkin' Donuts will go, like, it's facing the police station,
Yeah.
to the left, the old Shattuck
Right.
School, the old, there's an attorney's office there.
Yeah, are they gonna tear the building down, or?
Yes, that's what they're proposing, but,
That's
I
an
was-
old, that's an old building. I don't know how old, but.
Yeah, the
Any
house.
historical significance?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know.
So,
Oh,
but
Dunkin' Donuts is coming.
I was gonna say his name.
It's a very, it's a planning board concern, but it's a very tight, little driveway they have in back, which appears from that map to be, wandering into, don't disturb area, the 100-foot.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, that's pretty
Which
wet
if-
back
well-
there.
Well, if it's,
Pre-developed.
if it's pre-developed, they can redevelop it.
that's what, it's riverfront, that's what, just so Emily knows, it's riverfront,
Right,
because there is, the stream that goes behind there is
right,
a
Correct.
perennial stream.
yeah.
So it's different from the,
Right, they can't, it's considered pre-developed because it's degraded areas, because it's impervious surfaces like buildings, pavement.
Right.
Or if you have bare topsoil, or another junkyards and things like that can be degraded. And you can't have more impervious areas or degraded areas than exist. But there are different ways you can mitigate that, like you have stormwater. If the parking lot doesn't have stormwater management right now, and you have new controls, that counts as half mitigation.
Okay.
So different ways. Another problem is you can't be any closer than the existing. And that's kind of a problem, I think, with this plan.
It just doesn't seem like there's a lot of room back there.
put
No,
your finger on it.
Drive-through room?
To drive through, yeah. Unless they put the building like,
Well, wherever they want to put the dumpster is,
right.
The whole site is pretty much in the 200-foot.
yeah, the whole thing,
The
is-
riverfront, right up to the edge of the street.
and we really need to
If you-
see.
if
The wetland, we know,
right
that's why.
now,
Well, I
there's
know,
a
that's what-
garage that's 20 feet away, and the pavement's
What's that, Chris?
54 to 60 feet away
From
from
the
the,
100,
from the wetlands.
from the wetlands, so it's well within, well, we don't know.
I'm just, for now, from the wetlands.
Yeah.
And what they're proposing is 30 feet away versus 50.
Well,
4 to
plus
60.
they're proposing work down here too, so there's gonna be
Yes.
equipment even closer.
Yes, and there's the floodplain too at 232, which is maybe just outside that. It's just a really tight site for all they're trying to do.
Right.
That's why we have hearings to deal with it.
Exactly, but I did ask, I said, it's really difficult for us to give comments when there's so little information of, because restoration and mitigation is so important, and there's not the detail that we, as a commission, really need to see, the commission needs to see. You guys
So
need
do
to
you
see.
wanna
Can
just
we
then
do a-
hold off until we have the NOI before we do anything? How do
Or,
we-
it's up to you. I know you had some comments about
The drainage
the
calculation.
drainage calculations already.
Can we do a walkthrough like we did with the medical center?
Oh, yes,
years
definitely,
ago?
Oh.
definitely.
Once they file, great.
Yes. But I think it'd be helpful to have like your comments, but not, say these aren't the final comments from the commission. These are just things that you know, and if anyone has anything else they want to include.
Well, and we might just point out that we have to have the proper
I told them that.
information, and in our comments.
Yes.
That this is really inadequate for our comments, and these are, if you wanted to go to the effort, and the things we will be looking at, but that's, you could say the regs too, I mean.
Exactly.
That there's 100-foot no disturb, but then you'd have to asterisk all the details, so.
Well, but it's pre-developed, so you can, there are exceptions.
Yes, but the bits that aren't pre-developed are, I couldn't tell from their maps whether they were wandering into the undeveloped, pre-developed.
They definitely are.
Well, that was my impression, but, and that's,
Because the existing pavement now is 50 to 60 feet away, they're proposing it to be 30.
then there will be issues,
Yeah.
which they know perfectly well how to address them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I said it's difficult, I had told them that it's difficult for us to, you know, the commission to come up, to provide comments when really, the whole thing is so much information that the commission needs that just hasn't been provided
Right.
in
Yep.
these documents that are here. This might be fine for how many parking spaces you have, what kind of lighting you have, you know, certain things like that, but there's so much more.
Well,
that
that's
will-
their issues, and we have our issues, and
Yes.
so our comments might be that we will comment, we will be making our own comments as.
So is this a
properly-
little drainage ditch right there?
No, that's a stream.
That is a stream.
That's a stream.
It's Farnham Brook?
That's
Yeah.
Farnham
Well,
Brook.
Varnum
Varnum
Brook
Brook is
goes-
over here.
Crosses the road.
It
What's
goes,
this?
under the rotary,
Used to be
behind the
a-
police station,
Oh,
behind.
so this is where daylight? No?
Yeah.
It daylights there. It does
very
daylight
reed-
there.
Very reedy
Yes.
So
Yeah,
it,
it's
so
happening.
it's,
Pepperell's behind the police station.
Yeah.
so yeah, so here Varnum Brook, and then
Used to be
it's,
railroad.
it daylights, oh, right here. Is this? I'm trying to
Yeah,
think where this
right,
is.
right about where the
Oh,
police
yeah,
station,
yeah,
it goes
yeah,
under
yeah,
around
yeah.
where the hardware store
When
is,
you
it's still
get into the
underground.
soccer field there, you cross it.
Yeah, that's, it's been a while since
And there's
I've
another
been
stream
there
on
or
the
paid
other side of
attention
the
to,
soccer
okay,
field.
yeah, I see where it is.
The other stream, Green Brook. or
That's right.
something.
Mhm.
So
Green
then,
Brook,
what is
too.
this? What's this water?
There's another stream on the other
There's
side of
another
the soccer
stream,
field.
yeah. There's this.
That's Green Brook.
Green
This
Brook?
Green Brook, which goes behind the
Oh.
library.
Got it.
Yeah.
Green Brook comes behind the library, and then Varnum Brook comes the other way.
Greenbrook's a
So-
trip to the Varnum.
Yeah. There's a lot going on under that rotary.
Varnum
Oh, God.
comes out, we wanted to daylight it down by the
Mill.
mill.
Yes.
Really is. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Hmm.
So,
And the hill, orchard mowing, did we just,
Yep.
you've already
Yes.
talked about that.
yes.
And then you got the,
Well, just that next week, I give you the date for the DEP will be coming to town. I have that date, what did I say for now?
it's,
They're coming to the
Oh.
appeal for 11 Prescott Street. That was a notice of intent with an order of conditions.
Yeah.
We first done an RDA, or they submitted a request.
Wednesday, October 12th at 10:30.
Yes.
Really?
Are we,
We're all welcome to come to the site. They were in today asking about the structure. They were looking for plans showing that it's not a barn, but it's actually a garage.
this is DEP?
No, this is actually the people that live next door.
Okay, that's the way.
That's their concern, is that it'll be used for something other than what was, but we tried to explain that.
That's not,
Yeah, a lot of this is, it's something DEP will, I'm sure, take a look at, but not
Well, that's
It's not-
planning and or building.
exactly.
department.
And we thought we had directed them in the right direction. They'll have to handle that afterwards, I think. So.
thought this. Okay,
Do you have it on your calendar the right day?
like, yeah, I think.
It'll be
it's
right
really-
at 11 Prescott Street for anyone who's interested in going.
Plans.
I just wanna see the site. It's hard to look, always
What
at
day?
maps and
Yeah.
Well,
here's
if you drive
planning
by,
it.
it doesn't look like it could possibly be the site, because what you're seeing is a
Right.
little tiny, narrow strip of, not as
That's,
mowed.
that swale is the wetlands,
Yeah. Okay.
and there's going
So didn't
parallel.
you
I
say
would
she
like to
mowed
see it.
along certain times of the year?
Because it's wet.
Was
Yeah.
Which I
she
suspect
mows
it
it.
kind of goes that way a little when you look at the vegetation, but it's been cut, so,
Seems like we get one of those a week.
yes. Okay, 11A Wheeler, every September 1st, we're supposed to have a document stating that, the trees have survived, and it didn't come again this year, and so I sent another certified letter and a regular US mail letter to Jeff Chabot. He did come in last week. He said he would meet me out on the site this fall, and then, because the last time we had checked, there were 5 trees that were dead. I mean, there were a lot of trees planted, but we required 100% survival for 5 years. So I don't think we'd want them planting trees right now if there's no watering. But I mean, I think it's something that needs to be, we just need to know, right? We need to know if the trees have all survived. He's saying that
Well,
they
now, would
have.
now be a good time to, I mean, now that we're kind of getting out of our
Expert.
plans for
A drought?
Well, but we're getting into the fall, so.
Well, fall's usually a good time if you can water, but of course there's
Right.
still a
If
ban
you're
on.
considering planting deciduous trees, then I'm in favor of it. Evergreens, I would not, still. The subsoil is still bone dry.
Okay, so we will be going, this was a project where a property owner cut down like right up into the wetlands, and so the commission had required a restoration plan.
There was no other
I see.
conditions, there's no cutting within 100 feet, and you can see to cut everything down.
Understood, okay.
So 5
After we
years.
had walked the site with him twice and with 2 woodcutters, and told him where he could cut and not, and it was
And they just.
definitely marked with hay bales.
Oh, there was no question.
Yeah, yeah.
What year are we?
Well, this is like year 4,
Okay.
but like I said, keep asking for these reports, and they come, but they're late.
Or they're analyzed late too. It's not just that
Exactly.
the reports are late, but the person went out late to check the
Exactly.
livingness of the trees.
And that's clear in the letters that have been sent, that they were supposed, the letter was, we were supposed to have something by September 1st, and we didn't have it by September 1st. So we will be going out again, like soon.
Okay, and
The River Road OSRD. Talked to Mr. Patnode, and he said that he was waiting for a letter from town council. Well, a lot of us had gone out. Town council said he was waiting for a plan, because our right-of-way's been plowed under, so we're looking for a plan that clearly shows where the proposed right-of-way is going to go, so we have a plan that we can record at the Registry of Deeds, which town council said he was going to take care of once we all agreed on it. So there's now they need to talk again. So the right-of-way is still plowed under.
okay. So that's it.
Yes. I think that's enough.
Okay. Okay. I move that we close the
Next
meeting.
meeting?
Well, there's
second.
really, we don't have a
All in
hearing.
favor?
No hearing, no hearing.